ensure his future life. Suddenly, a car drove into the area. Having lowered the window, the guy asked him to tell him how to get to the construction site manager's office. How did Chen Xianfu suddenly ask if he happened to be Li Taishuan? Getting out of the car, the guy started saying that they were former classmates, but he didn't even say hello. Turning to the rich brother, the girl said that it was really him. She had not seen him for so many years. He still had the same poor, sour look. Looking at them, he realized that they were Chen Xianfu and Lin Ji. The guy thought that, unexpectedly, this couple of dog and bitch finally got together. But it doesn't matter. Since he was reborn, there will be many more chances for revenge. Sooner or later, everyone will pay their bills, and it will be interesting. Li Taishuan asked why the guy was looking for him. He's the boss there. Chen Xianfu asked, is he the owner of thousands of flowers? Laughing, the guy said that after so many years of studying, it seems that he has not progressed at all. Did he ask the owner? How can someone like this guy own this place? If Li Taishuan is the owner of the alley, then he is the Pope. It seems he understood. The guy is just a worker carrying bricks around a construction site. The girl said that they were there to talk about construction work with the owner of the alley of 1,000 flowers. Why should they delve into the problems of this dirty, poor boy? Chen Xianfu says that since they are old classmates, he will give the guy a chance. From now on, he can follow him and be his servant, pouring him tea and coffee, cleaning his company's toilets. It's better than carrying bricks at a construction site. When enduring strong wind, dust, and rain, let him think about it. The man will pay him 5,000 yuan per month. He asked how about this. He will add another 2,000 on top. 7,000 yuan. Still not enough? Okay, how about 10,000? So much. It's already a lot. Let him experience what it's like to receive a monthly salary of more than 10,000 yuan. But even if he carried bricks for the rest of his life, he would not be able to earn that much per month. Zheng Xianfu asked why the guy was silent. He doesn't want to say that he's happy with his job, does he? The guy thought that Li Taishuan, a poor boy like him who had no future in life, dared to fight him in the past for his women. At that moment, the guy's phone rang in his pocket. It was Zhang Hong. The guy told his friend that now he can come and visit his sister. Li Taishuan said he had to go. It is their right to decide whether to believe him or not. Zheng Xianfu shouted after him that he's had enough of this acting game. He can't become the owner of this place. He's just pretending to be one. The guy is nothing more than a worker who carries bricks. He's a loser and always will be. The guy immediately started calling someone and saying that he took 2 guys with him. He wants to teach one bastard a lesson. Was his arm really broken? Who had the courage to do this? Zheng Xianfu said that this time he was just lucky. But God forbid he caught his eye again. Then even his own mother wouldn't know. Zhang Hong to the guy that his sister is in this ward. They were still children when their parents died. He worked hard to provide for his sister. He said that in order to earn his sister money for her studies, during his studies in college he worked as a tutor at school during the day and worked at a kebab shop at night. But the guy could not have imagined that she would have such a serious illness. Opening her eyes, the girl asked her older brother what he was doing there. She said that she felt much better than before. Looking towards the guy, the girl asked who it was. Zhang Hong said that this was his classmate and best friend Li Taishuan, and this is his sister, Zhao Fei. Li Taishuan asked her to just not talk and lie down, let him check her condition. The guy told his sister not to worry, just let her do as he says, let her lie down. Looking at him, the girl thought that this man does not look like a doctor. Can he really cure her? She thought how long it had been since she had felt this comfortable. Zhang Hong told his sister that she looked much better. The guy asked how she was feeling. The girl answered her brother how she felt. Her illness completely changed, and the pain in her body disappeared. Li Taishuan told Zhang Hong that his sister was now completely healthy and could be discharged in a few days. The guy replied that he would call the doctor right away. Doctors began to say that the girl was miraculously cured, and the results of the medical report were as good as those of a normal person. This is simply a miracle in the history of the world of medicine. The guy told his friend what he saw. He had changed a lot, but still, where did the guy learn such skills? Li Taishuan replied to his friend that there are some things that he cannot explain to him, but they will not change. They will always be brothers. Zhang Hong admitted to the guy that he was guilty of something. The guy asked why he spoke like an old man, so that it wasn't. Just let him tell him directly how he could help. The friend asked him not to be angry with him after he told him. He began to say that after he returned home drunk last night, he began chatting in a high school group chat with their classmates, saying that he had been appointed in charge of the reconstruction of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. Zhang Hong asked him who he thought was the first to contact him. It was the disgusting Chen Xianfu. The guy has no idea how he found out about his sister's condition. He doesn't know why, but he immediately offered him his help and said that he would help cure his sister's illness by hiring experienced doctors from America. He will cover all expenses and send his sister for treatment. But later, he finally revealed his true intentions and said that he will only help him in exchange for building materials for the Avenue of the 1,000 Flowers, which should be concluded with his company, but who will give a guarantee that he will not go back on his words and fulfill the promise. Li Taishuan asked, and the guy agreed to his terms. Zhang Hong replied that he was very sorry. The guy could not imagine that he could cure his sister, so he agreed to his request. The guy replied that he thought something serious had happened, but it turns out to be a mere trifle. He will deal with this problem. Just let him tell Chen Xianfu to come to him. Zhang Hong asked the guy is really not angry with him. Thanking him, he said that he felt relieved. Then invite him to dinner today. The guy said that in addition to Chen Xianfu, there are several other building material suppliers who will also come there. The scale of construction of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers is too large. Even if that guy's company is interested, they cannot cover all the materials by themselves. Li Taishuan replied that then they would see each other in the evening. His sister just finished discharge and he has to take care of her, so let him come back. He remembered Shueshi. She must be terribly worried about him and must have gone crazy looking for him throughout the universe. Those heavenly masters, for the silent heavenly book, made him fall into the mud. It is because of them that he and the girl cannot see each other. He will rise again and retrace his steps by killing those people. Once that time comes, will they have the strength to withstand the wrath of this great venerable? The man said that thanks to Chen Xianfu's contract for the construction materials for 1,000 Flower Alley, they, the little bosses, would be able to share a piece of the pie with them. They didn't understand how the big boss got such a big order. One of the men said that he heard that the new owner of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers is so mysterious that even the Chu family does not dare to offend him. Zhang Xianfu replied that in truth, the manager of the reconstruction of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers and his school classmate. However, that guy is a poor man with no education or experience. When he said that he would give him 500,000 yuan for the operation, he really stupidly agreed. In fact, his little sister will probably die because she has late-stage kidney failure, and no matter how much money he spends, no one in this world can save her. He is not a naive piece of shit to lend him 500,000 down the drain. At that moment, the door opened. Li Taishuan told Chen Xianfu that he needed to talk to him. Calling the guy a waiter, the man began to shout, "Can't he see that they, the big bosses, are discussing their affairs there? Let him quickly get out of there and not come there until he is called." The man said, "Is it really Li Taishuan? Now let him introduce them to his former classmate." One of the men replied that, "Okay, let's talk about their school times. Maybe someone doesn't know, but his girlfriend was a wonderful flower of the school." Zhang Xianfu said that this guy was a toad who wanted to eat swan meat. Wrote a love letter to his girlfriend, But if they want to know how he expressed his love in this letter, the man still remembers the first few lines. Having recited those same lines by heart, the man began to laugh, saying that he almost died from laughter. But later his smart girlfriend read this letter out loud in front of the whole class. Men immediately began to say that this guy looks like a hillbilly. How can he be worthy of that miss? How did he even dare to fight for a girl's love? The guy should go and look in the mirror at his true face. Stop living in dreams. A person like him really deserves to be poor all his life. Jung Xianfu thinks that there is no point in continuing further because they all know what would have happened later. But despite all this, he dared to write a love letter to his woman. After all, beauty is a terrible force, so it was no wonder why he did what he did. So the man forgave him and let him off the hook. Someone said that the big boss is a great man. The man said that, of course, yes, but if he were in his place, he was afraid he could not refrain. Jung Xianfu said, "Let them listen, he hasn't finished yet." His village classmate is now carrying bricks at a construction site, and not just any one, but an alley of thousands of flowers. He asked, however, "What is the guy doing in this hotel?" He said that I'll try to guess. He doesn't have enough money that he gets for carrying bricks, so the guy works there as a waiter? The thing is that he doesn't want to help him. This guy is too useless, carries bricks and even got a job there as a waiter. Despite this, he still offered him a good job. The guy can work for him. It's much better and more profitable, and there's no need to embarrass himself. But he refused his offer. Men began to tell the big boss that he should no longer waste his time on such a guy. He has already done enough for him. This ungrateful guy cannot understand his good intentions because he is simply illiterate. Taking the bottle in his hands, one of the men said that he was a stupid kid. The boss offered him a way out of poverty, but he turned his back on him. Today, he will teach him a lesson. The man stopped him and said that he should forget about it. Everyone has their own aspirations. They again began to discuss how the boss's good intentions made him admire him. Despite the fact that he had his eye on his girlfriend and without looking at his past, the gentleman still offered him a job out of the kindness of his heart. One of the guys told the big boss and everyone sitting there that they had really gone too far. If he really wants to help his classmate, how can he laugh at him? What's the point of making fun of him like that with your friends? He remembers the two when they first started in the industry, also carrying bricks on a construction site, stacking cement and making deliveries. But now that they began to live well, they began to look down on people. Let him not forget that they too were once poor, and perhaps even worse poor. He asked what qualities they have to look down on others. What qualities do they have to make fun of others? The man asked what qualities he has to point the finger at the boss. Who is he in front of the boss, who is not even older than him, but still mocks him, and yet he has many years of work experience? Is he the general manager of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers? But now the head of this project is an old classmate of the boss. Let him quickly kneel before the boss and bow to apologize. The guy shouted that he, Zhou Wen, was ashamed to be in company with them. Watching what was happening, Li Taishuan thought that in the modern world there are not many people with such a strong character. Jung Xianfu shouted that it's good since the guy says so. Then from this day on he is no longer allowed near the 1,000 Flower Alley project. Now he can go. At this moment, Zhang Hong enters the room and says that from now on, Jung Xianfu is no longer allowed to visit the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers project. The man asked what the guy was saying. Doesn't he want to cure his sister of her illness? The guy shouted that he should shut his fucking mouth. His sister's illness has already been cured. The man no longer needs to pretend to be generous. At this moment, his sister enters the room. The girl greeted Li Taishuan. Jung Xianfu asked, "How is this possible? This can't happen." Last night he sent him pictures of his sister, chained to a hospital bed with a dying expression on her face. How can she be healed in just one day? Zhang Hong told the man that he knew. He would not believe it, but it was Li Taishuan who cured his sister of her illness. However, It's quite a shame that people like him, who are snobs and pathetic hypocrites, can never know how to repay someone's favor. Use the illness and his sister to blackmail him and then exchange the rights to the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. A person like him has no right to mock others. At that time, at school, the guy did nothing but write a love letter to the girl, and he immediately called a group of hooligans to brutally beat him. Jung Hong officially states that Lee Tai-Xuan is the big boss of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers reconstruction project, which costs more than $1 billion. He always looks down on people who carry bricks at a construction site and work as waiters in a restaurant, but the guy would like to say that they, as people, are much more worthy than him. Compared to Lee Tai-Xuan, he is just a piece of crap and wanted to make money from this project. But let him guess what will not happen even in his wildest dreams. And the rest thought that by collaborating with this despicable monster and supplying materials, they would make a big profit. They blindly licked this stupid dog's ass. The real big boss is Lee Tai-Xuan, not this bastard. The man didn't understand how is this possible. Is this child really the mysterious owner of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers? If they knew that he was the owner of 1,000 Flowers, they would not have dared to mock him. Zheng Xianfu shouted at the guy to stop joking. How could Li Tai-Xuan, a dirty poor peasant, be the owner of the 1,000 Flower Alley? This is simply impossible. The alley reconstruction project was purchased by the Chu family. How can this poor boy have any relationship with them? The man asked the owner of the 1,000 Flower Alley. Maybe he will also say that he is the same young Master Li. Suddenly, Mrs. Ouyang appeared. The girl said that she doesn't know whether he is the same young master, but she knows for sure that he is the real and only owner of the Alley of 1,000 Flowers. Calling them a bunch of idiots, the girl said that they are really stupid. Instead of supporting the real owner of the alleys, they are making fun of him. The guys could have seized on great luck, but instead they chose a losing option. She's already tired of their stupidity. And Zheng Xianfu decided that he was the smartest? He doesn't even know why the Chu family bought this project. Now let him kill it on his nose. It was bought especially for Li Tai-Xuan. If they wondered why, the girl replied because he is the great benefactor of the Chu family and also the master of the daughter of the head of this family. She told him that they had not seen each other for a long time. Lately the girl has been busy working. She was busy on the floor above and was holding negotiations there, and then she heard someone screaming, so she went down to see what was happening, but she didn't expect to meet him there. She asked, why doesn't he wait a little? When they are free, they can have dinner together. Li Tai-Xuan said that everyone except Zhou Wen, now social climbers, no longer has the right to interfere with the reconstruction project of the Avenue of the 1,000 Flowers. Zheng Xianfu doesn't even dream of getting anything from this project. Don't even dare to approach the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. Tonight, they must settle their old differences. The guy said that everyone was free. They could leave. Zhou Wen approached Mr. Li and said that he was very grateful to him. Although his company is inferior to others and today he came there simply as cannon fodder, the guy still did not expect that he would choose him and give him such an opportunity. Bowing, he said that if there is anything he needs in the future, the guy swears that he will use all the resources he has to help him. Zheng Xianfu began to shout that if he said that he would participate in the Alley of 1,000 Flowers project, then he would, and let the guy not dare tell him what to do. If he refuses him, the man will make sure that no one else dares to supply building materials for the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. This place will simply be empty. Let him not think if Lady Ouyang supported him, then he can do whatever he wants. It's not that easy to deal with him, kill his business in a few minutes. One blow sent the man flying several meters away. Li Tai-Xuan asked if the man remembered how Zhang Hong and his friends broke 2 ribs when he was protecting him, and because of which he lay in bed for 2 months. Today he will break his pig's leg so that he will not get out of bed for the rest of his life. The man shouted that he was in pain. How dare he beat him like that? Zheng Xianfu replied that it's good. He knows how to communicate with people like him, even if he doesn't dream of leaving there unharmed. Just let him wait. Now he will only make one call. The guy replied that it was good. He was in no hurry. He could call whoever he wanted. Approaching his friend, Zhang Hong told him that Chen Xianfu had a difficult background, and he was worried. Li Taishuan replied not to worry. Today, even if his men came there, they would not be able to save the man from his wrath. The guy realized that his friend had really changed too much. He felt the aura of a powerful person, and it was really a little difficult for him to get used to it. He is not the humble coward Li Taishuan he knew before. He can only wonder what he has experienced over the years. The guy asked Zhang Xianfu what kind of short-sighted bastard is that dares to beat him. He is definitely playing with death, right? Well, don't worry. He's nearby. Just let him watch as the guy tramples him into the ground. The man said that today is the end of Li Taishuan. Brother Diao and hundreds of his younger brothers are there to beat him to his last breath. This place will become his grave. The same brother Diao entered the door. It was clear from his face that he expected to see anyone, but not Li Taishuan. The guy didn't understand why, out of everyone in the whole world, it had to be him. Diao tried to quickly get everyone out of the way so he could escape. One of the guys asked, "Didn't they come there to kill someone? Why did you decide to come back and leave?" Diao replied that he should speak more quietly. Who should he kill? Have they gone completely crazy? The guy wasn't with him last night, so he has no idea who Mr. Li is. Even Pa's elder brother was afraid to contact him. Zhang Xianfu began to shout that Brother Diao had finally arrived. The guy didn't understand why he agreed at all. He was so unlucky to run into him today, especially after he promised not to show his face again. The man asked what he was doing. He was there. Today the guy has to teach someone a lesson. Li Taishuan said so. They were waiting for little Diao there. Why is he running away? Li Taishuan shouted for him to come to him immediately. The guy turned around and said that Mr. Li was also there. What a coincidence. Zhang Xianfu began to shout to Diao that this was the same guy who broke his legs. If he kills him, the man will give him 10 million, no, even 20 million. Watching this, the men said that the little boy was now surrounded by Brother Diao's people. They were eagerly awaiting his desperate cries for help. They were waiting for Li Taishuan to kneel down today and be forced to pray. There wasn't enough space in that room for so many people. Looking at everyone, Zhang Xianfu said that it was great that so many older brothers and sisters came there to support him. He started shouting for the guy to listen. This is what is called true influence. The man promises that the guy will die here like a street dog. Everyone immediately began to discuss that Boss Pa had also come there. Zhang Xianfu thought it was really incredible that such a busy person as the boss was also there to help him. Let the guy see that even Boss Pa came there to support him. What will he do now? The men discussed that with Boss Pa supporting Chen Xianfu, even if Li Taishuan was supported by Lady Ouyang, he would still not be able to escape today. The man thought what a relief. He really didn't expect so many strong personalities to come to support Chen Xianfu. The man told Brother Diao to turn this boy into a pile of garbage so that even his own mother would not recognize him, and he, as promised, would give him 20 million yuan. Having hit him, the guy told him to put this money in one place. How dare he insult Mr. Li? If he is so impatient to die, then let him die alone. Don't drag him into his troubles. Diao told Mr. Li that he was very sorry, but it was all just a mistake. Now the guy has to be very careful because if he gets more upset, then killing him is just a matter of a few seconds for him. He sees his life hanging in the balance. One mistake and he will tell this world bye-bye. Li Taishuan asked the mistake. Boss Pa hit the guy on the head with a cup and said that last time he messed up, and now again, what will he see? How many times will the guy get in Mr. Li's way? The guy said no. He still remembers the lesson that Mr. Li taught him last time, but let him believe him. This time he really had nothing to do with it. Boss Pa said that now Zheng Xianfu should listen to him carefully. If he offends Mr. Li Taishuan, then that means that he will offend him too. If he dares to plant the master again in the future, the consequences will be unimaginable. The man did not understand how this was possible, why his former classmate had such an influential environment, so many bosses of the underworld were behind him. Li Taishuan told the man that today, in front of everyone, he was going to cripple him. Zheng Xianfu told the guy not to dare. Let him say that his brother, before he could finish speaking, the guy struck. The ambulance took Zheng Xianfu to the hospital. At this moment, Lin Ji approached the guy. The girl began to say that she knows that what she did to him in the past was wrong. She heard that his ex-girlfriend broke up with him, so he thinks they can start over? Li Taishuan replied that the harlot should go away. Lin Ji thought, does he even know how ugly he looks? I mean, who does he think he is? Does he think that he is better than her in a big city like Huzhou? She shouted after him that such an arrogant person like him would never find a girl. At this moment, Wu Yang was approaching from behind. Having hit her, the girl asked where she got so much courage to talk to Li Taishuan like that. For a lot of money, a slut like her will do whatever is asked. She's just trash. From now on, don't even sleep to approach him. Approaching the guy, Wu Yang this time he offended Chen's family, so let him be careful with his brother, Chen Xianglin. That guy was very talented from a young age. He was born a martial arts genius and destroyed many talented masters. Chen Xianglin will make his life hell. She had heard that all these years he had been wandering around the world studying martial arts and even bowed to a foreign great master as his teacher. The guy replied, not to worry. Even sect master Xing Yi is not able to scratch him. Some guy there will not be enough to pose any threat to him. The girl told him that, by the way, he was probably tired and hadn't eaten anything yet. She invited him to have dinner together. The guy replied that he had other things to do, maybe another time. Zheng Xianfu told his brother that he must avenge him by killing Li Taishuan. The guy said that he crippled his brother and swears that he will make him pay tenfold. The guy's phone rang in his pocket. Picking up the phone, it turned out to be Mu Dong Wansuo. The girl said that after the last concert she could not properly thank him for saving her life, because she had to fly abroad to make it to her next concert on schedule. The girl said that she would return to Huzhou in 2 days. As a token of gratitude, she would like to invite him to dinner. Earlier, he risked his own life to save her, but the situation was so unpredictable that she never found the moment to thank the guy personally. She often thought about the time when she looked down on him and criticized him. Now the girl regrets her stupid act every single day. At that time, the guy was like a high mountain. He protected it like a shield. After asking for forgiveness, Li Taishuan said that he had no free time at all and hung up. The girl was furious. She didn't understand how he dared hang up the phone like that. At this moment, a woman approached Mu Dong Wansuo and asked what was wrong with her. Does she have any idea how difficult it was to get the lead actress role in such a big-budget Hollywood film? It took her 6 months to convince the director, and she was also very excited about the film, practicing day and night and expending a lot of energy for the role. When the film is finally ready to shoot, she says she doesn't want the role anymore? What does she even want then? Does the girl know that all the films he made were phenomenally great? Also, his works occupy a strong place at the top of the box office. His fans are located in almost every corner of the world, waiting for the release of his next project. All the elite actors around the world dream of working with director Ryan, but she actually turned down his offer? And why does the girl want to return to China? From behind her table, the girl replied that she had found something even more valuable than all this. There is someone in China she should meet as soon as possible, because she was bewitched by that man. While watching the construction, the guy thought that the project would be completed in 3-4 months. Suddenly, Zhang Hong runs up to the guy and tells him that a large crowd has gathered at the tuning. Li Taishuan asked him to first calm down and tell him what was happening. The guy began to say that the construction site of the Alley of 1,000 Flowers was cut off from water and electricity. Even the supply of sand and stones was cut off. He asked where they went wrong that the gods were punishing them like this. At this rate, if they continue to interfere with construction, it will cause it to be suspended, meaning the loss of millions of yuan. If this continues, they will finally go bankrupt. Even less frequently, he said that last night a gang of vile thugs invaded their construction site, brutally beat up most of the workers and even killed 2 of them. Since the construction site was not under any surveillance system, so the police were unable to track down the attackers, all their workers ran away because they were afraid to work there. The guy didn't understand what they should do. How can they continue construction? Zhang Hong told the guy that they had better contact Mr. Chu. He is the only person they can rely on in such dangerous situations. Li Taishuan replied that he knew who did it. Don't let the guy worry. He will take care of it. Li Taishuan saw something flying towards him and managed to push his friend away in time. The guy asked what he was doing. Seeing the man on the roof, he asked the guy because the man is Chen Xianfu. The man replied that today was his lucky day. At 8 p.m., there would be a banquet in his honor at the Chen family mansion. He asked if the guy had the courage to come. Li Taishuan replied that he should tell him to be prepared for the consequences, and don't worry, he will definitely come. Lun Wu told the master that that guy is so arrogant. Doesn't he really want her to tear his head off? He replied that there was no need. It would only alarm the snake, but they still dared to invite him to the banquet. So tonight the guy is going to educate them and make them understand what repentance and torment really are. After calling someone, the girl asked if he had found out where Li Taishuan was. The man replied that according to the information he received, the guy was going to attend a banquet hosted by the Chen family at the customs mansion at 8 p.m., and it was said that Chen Xianfu had also invited a big man to dinner. Watching the guests, the man said how many big shots came there. The second replied that yes, he had also heard that Lei Yuntian, the first youngest major general of Chu state in his generation, would also be present. Lin Ji told Xianfu that she had heard that his elder brother worshipped a foreign master as his teacher and learned extraordinary martial arts techniques specifically to avenge him. The man replied that it was quite natural. His brother is a man blessed with martial arts from birth, and no one can compare with him. His early life was also healed to some extent because he took a miracle pill that his brother gave him. Elder brother specially invited Lei Yuntian, so that guy would not survive today. The girl asked if he was talking about the legendary Lei Yuntian, the first son of the Lei family in Huzhou. It is said that he worshipped the martial art Longting Sun, also known as Voldemort, and no one can defeat him in the entire city. Even such strong people as Chu Shuifang, Song Rong, and Yang Shaokong are nothing more than ordinary insects who will arrive there and be forced to bow their heads in front of that great man. The guy replied that after all, his older brother is a martial arts genius. He can even invite such a powerful person to their banquet. A worm like Li Taishuan is not worthy to stand in front of his brother. The time has come. Now he will enjoy the wonderful spectacle. Chun Xianglin said that he could not believe that Lei Yuntian came. Now that he's there, they can squash that little cockroach. Even if he has the ability to jump to the skies, he will not be able to escape the mighty thunder of his palm. Lei Yuntian replied that Li Taishuan is quite a fancy name. He received some news that Su Rong invited him to join the special forces as a chief inspector. Considering all these facts, its power cannot be underestimated. However, if he thinks that after defeating trash like Li Xinren and Nehi, he has become invincible in the entire city, then the guy is just a small frog at the bottom of a well who cannot imagine himself as an ocean. Chun Xianglin said that he was afraid that guy would not come. It would be quite obvious. He was probably scared to the core. He must have hid like a turtle in his shell when he learned that he and the Grand Master were going to attend this banquet specifically to knock some sense into him. Li Taishuan entered the banquet hall. Lin Ji asked if he really came to the banquet all alone. Where is his so-called beautiful friend Miss Wu Yang, who is always buzzing around him like a fly? She continued to say that it looked like the girl had already dumped him. She had been telling him for a long time that the guy was just a hillbilly. People would just use him and abandon him. How could anyone want to be with an idiot like him? Suddenly the girl asked who in their right mind could abandon such a powerful man. Mu Dongwan Suo told the guy that she came there from overseas specifically to see him. Approaching him, the girl said that she knows that she was rude to him before and admits her mistakes. He's not still angry with her, is he? Li Taishuan said that he was there to kill. What is she doing there? Chen Xianfu thought that both Mu Dongwan Suo and Ouyang Pei are magnificent beauties. But why are they with that stinking Li? Obviously he is much better than him, but then why? The man said that it means that since the guy came, he still has a little courage. He just said that he came to kill. Is everything okay in his head? Also, all the people gathered there are from high society. How dare he burst in like that in front of his guests? He made the biggest mistake of his life by coming there. The man thought that the guy went back to his village to hide and save his ass, but instead he came there to certain death. After slapping him, Li Taishuan asked, did he dare to reveal his family to him again? Chen Xianglin asked, did this guy have the courage to hit his brother right in front of him? Today he will make sure that the guy does not leave this place alive. Zheng Xianfu shouted that no matter how formidable Li Taishuan was, he could not defeat his brother. The girl said that now he is in trouble. That's what he needs. The men began to discuss that this guy didn't pretend to be cool and all-powerful. Where has all his confidence gone? Why doesn't he continue his pretense? However, he dared to slap Chen Xianglin's younger brother right in front of him. Li Taishuan said that he cut off the electricity and water at his construction site and beat the workers to death. He is no better than a third-rate hooligan. The guy replied that yes, he did it. Well, so what? Here he is right in front of him, and what will Li Taishuan do to him? Chen Xianglin shouted to the guy that he had crippled his brother, ruined his life, and he only did it to get paid for what the guy did to him. Li Taishuan replied that he was not worthy of wagging his tongue in front of him so arrogantly, after which the guy began to attack. With his strength, Li Taishuan made the guy unable to move and pulled him down. Once on the floor, Chen Xianglin said that this was a cheap trick. Taking out a knife, the guy began shouting that he would see him in hell. Lan Wu shouted to the master that he should not waste any more time on this nonsense. Let her leave it to her. One of the men asked if he was sleeping. Chen Xianglin, a genius who had been practicing martial arts since childhood and bowed to the world's top martial artist as his teacher, was mercilessly beaten by this little girl like a helpless cockroach. Chen Xianfu thought it was impossible. This little girl is not even a match for his elder brother. Chen Xianglin said that let the guy not be so arrogant. Just wait for Lei Yuntian to go down there. He will give him a miserable death. Suddenly, Lan Wu saw a body-hardening jade on his neck. The girl did not expect to see this divine magic item on this man. Tempering jade in such a remote place, then it is no wonder that it has become so strong. Lan Wu thought that if she got this jade, she could not only restore her strength but also develop her strength to the next level. But still, this is a divine magical item, and she doesn't know whether her master will want it for himself. Li Taishuan said that body-hardening jade is indeed a treasure, but in his eyes it is trash. However, it contains traces of spiritual energy, which will be very useful to her in the practice of heavenly witchcraft, so he gives this jade to the girl. The girl began to attack and shouted for him to give her this jade. She tore it from his neck and said that it was hers now. Anyone who dares to challenge her master will die at the hands of the girl. Just as she tried to attack again, Lei Yuntian appeared in front of her. Chun Xianglin shouted that he was finally there. Now even if 100 Li Taishuan came there, they would not be able to escape from him. The girl realized that this man's fighting skills were so frantic and domineering. Lei Yuntian said that the Chen family invited him there to help them deal with him, and since he hurt them in his presence, the guy should give him a good explanation for his wrong action. He began to say that he did not want to humiliate the guy, so he was giving him a chance. Li Taishuan crippled the youngest son of the Chen family, so if he wants to live a little longer, he must kneel down, repent of it, and properly apologize to the entire family, but then he must get out of the city and never dare to return again. Suddenly, Chu Tianzhong and Chu Shuilian entered the banquet hall. The man said that recently he was in the midst of restoring his health when he heard that some trouble had arisen at the construction site of the Flower Alley. He hurried to return there as soon as possible. The men immediately bowed and greeted Mr. Chu. They didn't understand what was happening there. Even such a busy person as the head of Chu personally came there. They began to talk about how Lei Yuntian had been partial to Chu Shuilian since childhood. One of the men heard that he specially returned to the city to marry the great lady. Watching the girl, he thought that he had not seen her for a whole year. She really has become even more beautiful. The girl must have come to see him. The Kamsung. As soon as the girl began to approach him, he asked how she ended up there. But Chu Shuilian walked past him and approached Li Taishuan. She told the master that the incompetent student had arrived too late. She hoped he would forgive her this time. It was clear from the guy's face that he didn't expect this. Everyone immediately began to discuss whether Miss Chu was there to see that boy. How could this be? The girl is clearly cold and arrogant towards everyone, but why did she become so accommodating in front of Li Taishuan? Mr. Chu Tianzhong approached the guy and asked, "Does he think Mr. Li is someone he can mess with?" Just for the sake of his future, the man will try to convince the master not to kill him today, but let him not forget that Li Taishuan is not some ordinary, mediocre martial artist. He can't just mess with him. Li Taishuan is more majestic than any person he has ever met. Lei Yuntian answered the man that he thinks that over the years, his mind begins to degrade. He respects him because the man is the head of the Chu family and also an elder, but let him not think that he has the right to tell the guy whatever he wants and judge his actions. And he said the guy couldn't afford to mess with him? Is there anyone else in the whole city that guy can't beat? Mr. Chu shouted at this ignorant idiot to shut up. He was trying to save his life. "Sir, this is Li Taishuan, the famous young master from Huzhou." The guy asked, "Is he a young master? Since when did the title of master become so worthless that any cat or dog dares to call himself a master? He's just a newbie. No one in the entire Chu state knows about this damn smart guy. But the guy can assure him that if they hear him call himself a great master, they'll probably die of laughter." Chu Shuilian told him that the guy was in no position to speak so rudely to her master. He doesn't even know about the most basic manners. The girl said that she could not believe that he became so shameless. Lei Yuntian replied that he could not believe that the girl scolded him because of such a clumsy boy. Does she really care what people think? After all, everyone in the whole city knows that she is his woman. The girl replied that he should stop talking nonsense. There is no relationship between them, and this is clearly one-sided love. Angry, the guy shouted that he didn't expect the girl to treat him like that because of that boy. She is now making the biggest mistake of her life by rejecting his love for her, and will probably regret it in the future. Lei Yuntian shouted for the girl to listen to his words. Today, he will cut that guy's flesh into small pieces and crush his bones into powder. He will let him see it with his own eyes and let them know that the person they think so highly of is even more pathetic. He will kill him to the point between life and death. Chu Tian asked Mr. Li to be careful. That guy studied and practiced his martial arts under the mentorship of Long Tian, honing and tempering his fighting skills all year round, like no one else, and no one dares to become his enemy. This was why he was able to shock the younger generation of Chu. Li Taishuan replied that he didn't care, but he would like to see how great Long Tian's disciples really were. But before that, the guy approached Chun Xianglin and began to say that he had killed 2 workers of his 1,000-flower alley and maimed even more. Li Taishuan added that his vessel of sins is full to the brim. He cannot allow him to live any longer. Lei Yuntian stood between them and asked the guy still dare to try to harm him in his presence. Li Taishuan asked, how dare a lowlife like him stand in front of this venerable one? The guy can kill anyone in front of everyone. A worthless idiot like him wouldn't be able to stop him. He didn't understand what kind of inner strength this was. Even the guy couldn't protect himself from her. Mu Dongwansuo thought that he really killed him. He didn't even show any mercy. Lei Yuntian shouted that now the guy will definitely be finished. He brought this on himself. Then she began to attack. He says that this is a dragon's fist, truly worthy of being Long Tianyu's disciple. The guy learned such a powerful martial arts technique. Over time, perhaps he will certainly become a great master. It was the downward dragon fist, one of the most famous martial arts techniques. Chun Qianfu said that Li Taishuan should die today and his head would be sacrificed to his brother. Smiling, the guy thought that he could not withstand this blow. Li Taishuan stopped his fist with just his finger and then said that this was child's play. His punch contained at least 60% of his profound strength, but this guy only used one finger to stop it. People were surprised that he was actually able to stop the dragon's fist with his index finger. How can this be? He is able to repel a powerful blow. Li Taishuan asked the number 1 in the city. He's just a narcissistic child. The guy is no match for him, even if he fights with only one hand. He shouted that Li Taishuan forced him to do this when the guy was learning this technique. He never thought that he would use it in a place like this. Even the master himself warned him not to use this technique unless absolutely necessary. This is his last chance. Today, the guy will meet his end. He'll blow his head off. Once again his attack failed. Li Taishuan stopped him with only his hand. He easily defeated this guy. Lei Yuntian shouted that this is impossible. This cannot be. How could someone so absurdly strong exist and take so many hits and not even break a sweat? Li Taishuan asked, is this all he can do? His blows were good, but unfortunately, it couldn't even be called a fight. Perhaps it's time to end this. With just one blow, the guy found himself slammed into the wall. People watching this asked, is this guy even a human being? Mr. Chu immediately ran up to the guy and began to say that he had known him since childhood. He had seen the guy grow up, and he was also the son of his old friend. He was actually a good person. And besides, the incident with the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers had nothing to do with him. Now that the culprit is dead, he hopes that the guy can, out of respect for this old man, save the life of that ignorant child. In addition, he is also a member of the Special Forces. Mr. Li will soon lead this unit, so in the future this guy may serve him. Approaching Lei Yuntian, the guy said that for the sake of Mr. Chu, he would save his life. What will he say, whether he wants to live or not? The guy shouted that he was refusing. He, Lei Yuntian, does whatever he wants of his own free will. He doesn't need some old man to beg for his life. Chu Tianzheng told Mr. Li that he should not pay attention to this idiot. The man would send him back to his father for strict re-education. He promises that the guy won't cause him any more trouble. Mr. Chu told the guy that it was his frivolity that caused so much trouble, assures him that tonight the Zheng family will be removed from the list of large families and he will handle the supplies himself, and also instruct people to resume construction of the 1,000-Flower Avenue as soon as possible. Li Taishuan thought that after some time, the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers construction site would be reopened. The guy's phone rang, and when he picked it up, it turned out that it was his father. The man told him that he was now at Aunt Wu's house. If the guy was not busy, he should come there quickly. His father wanted to ask him something. His father and Wu Qing have been old comrades in arms for many years, and he only has one such old girlfriend in the city. After he arrived in Huzhou, he immediately went to the woman's home. He probably doesn't know what happened to the guy in this city during this time. As soon as the guy approached the door, he immediately heard the woman's words that such a beautiful flower as her daughter was unworthy of his son. At least he knows that his spoiled son is shamelessly communicating with some bad girls there. The man asked her to please not be so angry. He knows that his son is not the person she describes him as. The man thinks that this is just a misunderstanding, so please let him wait a little until he returns home, after which they can ask him about everything directly. The woman asked misunderstanding says, "What you need to understand is that she cannot believe that his precious son is actually such a cruel person. How could he be so heartless to abandon her innocent little girl? She said she didn't care. He must pay for causing her mental pain, and it still won't be enough." The man tried to calm her down. Li Taishuan thought that, of course, he guessed that Qi Shuang and her mother would not be so kind as to easily let him and his family live in peace. They deliberately forced his father to contact him in order to extract money from him. In his past life, he was deceived by a woman and that girl. They ruined his whole life. He was cruelly abandoned by this harlot like some trash. His life was disgusting and miserable. What's even more funny is that even after Yang Xiaokong framed him and locked him in prison, the guy was rotting there like a dead mouse, but still fantasized that one day the girl would change her mind about him and return to him to save him. And by the time he left, the cold corpse of his father was already waiting for him at home. It was a cold winter night, snowy skies and all kinds of snowstorms covering all the sinners of this world. The woman asked, "Does this guy still have the courage to appear in front of her? He has no conscience at all, a heartless monster. Come on, let him explain to her why he abandoned her daughter." Without listening to that woman, the guy immediately went towards his father and hugged him. In his previous life, his father's death was the irreparable regret of his entire life. Now he has been reborn and can finally see his face again. The guy swears by his cultivation that in this life they will use all the means that he has to protect him and will never allow him to suffer from any injustice. He will definitely find his father's killer. That killer will pay with his blood hundreds of millions of times. The guy will drain his essence of life and will torture his soul into the dark abysses of hatred. That bloody debt will only be repaid with blood. The man asked what was wrong with him. They had not seen each other for only a month. Why is he so sentimental? Did the guy really miss him that much? The guy thought that something was wrong. For him, it was just a month, but for the guy, it was an eternity. In his previous life, although he became Li Taishuan, he never thought that one day he would be able to reunite with his beloved father. This is the happiest day for him since his rebirth. However, his father looks a little older, has a lot of gray hair at his temples, and even has a hunched back. The woman shouted for the two of them to finish already. Since the guy is there, should he tell her how he is going to compensate her daughter for the emotional damage? She spent so much time with him just like that, and there must be an excuse for this. Li Taishuan replied that by swapping black and white, confusing right with wrong, she is the one who is truly shameless. He thought that even in the divine world, such vile people as this girl's mother are very rare. The woman asked now, did the guy's father see this with his own eyes? He really raised a good son with a sharp tongue. First, the guy acted horribly towards her family and then dared to contradict her. The man replied that, okay, let his son explain to him what's going on there. He answered the woman that from his point of view, he even hopes that these two can become a couple. They have been communicating for a long time and maybe even understand each other perfectly. She replied that that's enough, don't let her call her that, it hurts her ears. His son has now become a playboy, with countless women wanting to go on dates with him. Among them are the most beautiful director of the company, a famous idol, and even a young lady from the Chu family. They all fly around him like flies that have encountered a pile of crap. His eyes are on the heavens. So how will he want to look at her daughter? The man answered her that this could not happen. If his son had been so successful, he would not have lived in this small house located in the wilderness. He answered his dear matchmaker that his son is still young. Does she think she can give him another chance? After all, the two had been hanging out since they entered college. More than 2 years have passed since then. If they broke up over these little things, it would be a waste of time, right? The woman replied that it was good. She would give him one last chance to continue dating her daughter, but she has one condition. The man replied that, of course, let him speak. Let them buy her daughter a house so that she can live in it. Isn't that a very simple task? The guy thought that she had finally shown her foxtail. The woman dared to deceive his father. She already realized that he broke up with her daughter and would no longer be able to get money out of him. But now she has set her sights on his father. But he doesn't have any evidence now. Even if he says it, it will most likely only anger his father. Still, he himself should see the true face of this couple. The guy asked if they wanted to stay somewhere, if they need to buy a house, all the villas of the alley of thousands of flowers in it. He told his father that he too could live wherever he wanted. The woman asked the guy that he still lives in dreams. Does he want to say that all the villas of 1,000 flowers belong to him and he is the mysterious owner? Li Taishuan replied that everything is correct. He is the mysterious owner of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. Qi Shuang told the guy that she didn't expect him to become like this. Decided to lie to them to save face? What a despicable person. The girl's mother told the man that he had just arrived in the city, so he didn't know that the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers had been an abandoned area for many years. It is said that there have been many ghost stories there. In principle, no one dares to go there. But now, she doesn't know why, but they have reopened the construction site. There are luxurious mansions inside, and she heard that there are more than 100 of them, depending on the mansion. They can cost several tens of millions of yuan. And his son says that he is the owner of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. The man told his son that he would forbid him to say such nonsense in the future. Or maybe he doesn't know something about the guy. The father wondered, can he really truly count on his own strength? If a guy has collected enough money to take out a mortgage on a house in the city, then that proves that he is good enough. The guy really strives for greatness, but he doesn't even remember that when he first came to the city, the man even borrowed 200,000 yuan to rent a room in Qi Shuang's house. Walking down the street, a guy asked his father if he could get him into a 5-star hotel tonight. The man replied that one night in a hotel would be very expensive. Let him stay there. It is a great place for him. The guy just came to the city for a while. His monthly salary is not that big. If he has money, then let him save it. Li Taishuan thought that her father had always been stubborn. He should not argue with him. Zhang Hong called the guy and said that there are several contracts that he must sign at the sales office. He needs to come there. Li Taishuan replied that it was good. He understood everything. The guy told his father to call him if the man needed anything. There was some kind of contract that he needed to sign, so he had to go. The man answered his son that they were no longer in that girl's house. He didn't have to bother so much with his father. If he had something to do, then he shouldn't worry about him. But he warned his son not to brag about what he has ever again, because now he's in big trouble for this, so let him learn from his mistakes. He answered his father that there are some things that he cannot explain to him right now, but he will definitely understand it later. By the way, don't be deceived by that girl's mother, don't listen to them, and don't need to fulfill their request for a house. The man replied that, okay, he knows, so don't let the guy worry. The man thought that the guy didn't know anything at all. He should at least show some sincerity to someone who just wants to stay by his side. In this world, what parent would not take care of their child? Lao Li's phone rang. It was that girl's mother. She asked the man was not going to deny the fact that he promised to buy a house for her daughter. She is sure that he is not one of those people who will throw words to the wind. He replied that, of course, today he would bring a guy to buy a house for her daughter, and he would also send them the address. Before coming to the city, he not only sold his house and land but also asked his relatives and neighbors to lend him money. Even with the money he saved for his funeral, it barely amounted to 1,000,000 yuan. But his son's well-being is about more than just some money. The woman said that a poor hillbilly will always remain poor. Even after living in a poor village, his son still boasted that he was the owner of the alley of 1,000 flowers. She told her daughter it was good that she did not stay with that poor boy. Otherwise, she would have lived in poverty for the rest of her life. Qishuang said that the guy is such a miser. He put his father in such a cheap place. Guest workers usually live in small hotels like this. But she still doesn't understand how he could become Miss Chu's master. How could a beggar like him be related to such a prestigious family? The girl thought that even if he is good at martial arts, his father is a poor old man without any abilities. As for who is the real owner of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers, today they are going to buy a house there. All his lies will come out as she wants to see his unhappy face. Lao Li apologized for making them wait so long. The woman told him that today they would go to the alley of 1,000 Flowers to buy a villa there. Didn't his son say yesterday that he was the owner of this place? So let him leave the most expensive villa for them. The man replied that they should not take seriously all the nonsense that his stupid son was talking about. When they left last night, he scolded him for his bad behavior. He said that, frankly, he couldn't afford a villa. I heard that it is worth tens of millions. The man is afraid that they will think of it as a joke, but in his entire life he has never been to the villa. The woman thought that, after all, a hillbilly is a hillbilly. The man noted that if they don't return, it's almost noon now, so why don't they go and have lunch together, where they can also discuss all the details about housing. He said that he would call the guy to come there. He will pay for the check himself so they can order whatever they like. Lao Li called his son and asked where the guy is now. How about having lunch with your dad? Li Taishuan replied that he had an appointment with the manager of the department in the 1,000 Flower Alley. This will take some time. He will come to him as soon as he is free. Now he is the owner of thousands of flowers, so he is really overwhelmed with all this paperwork. The woman thought, God, this is an old phone. Its speaker is too loud. Snatching the phone from the man's hands, the woman began shouting how shameless he was, still lying and pretending to be the owner of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. He even lied to his own father. Just let him wait. She will expose all his lies as soon as she arrives at the alley of 1,000 Flowers to buy herself a new villa. The man asked the woman to please remain calm. This is all some kind of misunderstanding. His son is just joking. Don't let him take it seriously. Lao Li thought what his son had done. He doesn't know how to brag. He should know when to stop, and now, what will he do when his lies are exposed publicly? Did the guy ever think what kind of humiliation his father would face? He would never be able to survive and show himself to anyone. The area of the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers is located in a prosperous area of the city. Their owner has invested billions of yuan in this grandiose project. The man said it looked very expensive. Qishuang kept saying